Firstly, let's say something about beautiful verbiage, speaking beautiful words. Firstly, Gemara in Psachim, Gimel Amud Bet 3b says, "Lo mishaneh adam letalmido derech ktsara." You should always speak to your student in a short and abridged and concise way. Rashi, the Vilna Gaon, two of the greatest sages of all time, and the Rambam to a degree as well, spoke in short sentences, brief comments. Rashi can comment on a whole page in just a few lines. The Vilna Gaon, with one little reference to a passage elsewhere in the Talmud, is telling you volumes about what he's commenting on. Some of our greatest sages hardly ever wrote an essay. I'd like to see an essay that Rashi wrote about his view and philosophy of life. Do we have one? Yes, there was a period where Jews wrote philosophical treatises, but how Jewish were they? Weren't the Rambam and others trying to mimic the beautiful writings of the Greeks, Aristotle and others, who had beautiful treatises which spoke at length with great verbiage about all the beautiful and important principles in life? Where is the Talmud? Where's Rabbi Akiva? Where's Hillel? Speaking about the magnificent precepts and principles that underlie all of Jewish literature and Jewish thinking and Jewish thought and Jewish ideas and ideals. Where is the Talmud in more than one line to have one philosophical treatise? In all of the Mishnah, the 6 orders of the Mishnah that speak about agricultural laws and Shabbat laws and laws of purity and impurity, laws of sacrifices, laws of holidays. In all those orders of the Mishnah, there's just one book that you could vaguely describe as a beautiful book that speaks about the philosophical underpinnings of Judaism. And there, all we have from the various sages, from Rabbi Akiva to Hillel to Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi, are little pithy sayings and statements. Is this all that the Jewish tradition can muster up? Couldn't they have one book like Philo? Philo, the great Greek Jewish rabbi in Alexandria, he wrote a beautiful treatise. People can put it on their shelves as Philo, the great Jewish philosopher. The Guide to the Perplexed, a treatise worthy of Greek literature. Put it on a shelf. It's voluminous, it's beautiful, it's large. It explains everything in a fully explained fashion. Where is the verbiage in Judaism? But Shammai taught us in the very beginning of Pirkei Avot and the ethics of the fathers, and more ma'at v'aseh arbeh. Just say little, do much. Say little and do much. That's the Jewish ethic. The Jewish aesthetic is to do. Do good. Don't say good. Saying good won't do much good. Doing good, that's what speaks volumes. If you ask, weren't the Jews in the Mishnaic period 2,000 years ago, weren't they aware of the great treatises that the Greeks had produced? Aristotle's writings, Plato, the Republic, weren't they aware of it? Nicomachean Ethics. Had they never read fully explained treatise about a particular ethic? All they could muster up is, oh, loving your neighbor as yourself, this is a beautiful principle. If I'm not for myself, what am I? Who is? Isn't there anything deeper, richer, that we could be more expounded upon than the pithy statements of the Talmud? The answer is, the rabbis were deeply aware of the Greek ethic, of the beauty of verbiage, the beauty of poetry. But the rabbis chose to go in a totally different direction. You should always speak to your students in a short and pithy style. That's what they should memorize. The short and pithy statements that you made about Jewish law, about Jewish life and principles. The rabbis were against beautiful verbiage. We do find some people in the Torah who speak very beautiful statements. But you know who they are? They're not Avraham, not Yitzchak, not Yaakov. There are other characters in the Torah. Bilam speaks beautiful prose and poetry. Matovu alecha Yaakov mishkanotecha Yisrael. How beautiful are your synagogues and sanctuaries. your houses of study. How beautiful are your tents, how goodly are your tents, Israel. Those beautiful words are not Jewish words. Those are the words of Bilam, and we usually refer to him as Bilam Harasha, the wicked Bilam. He's the one who has the beautiful words, because beautiful words don't always translate into beautiful actions. Lavan, Laban the Aramean, whom the Haggadah told us, Bikesh la'akor et hakol, tried to destroy all of Judaism. He spoke beautiful words. Lavan says, Lo yasechen bimkomenu latet hatzira lifnei habechira. Laban says, it's not done in our place to give the younger daughter before the older daughter. Malei shavuazot, to finish with the celebrations of one woman before you begin the celebrations of another. From which the rabbis learn, Ein ma'arvin simcha b'simcha, you can't mix one affair with the other. Laban spoke beautiful words, but Laban's deeds were not beautiful. Laban tried to trick and even kill our ancestors. Esav, the great wicked brother of Jacob, he speaks beautiful words, tragic words. Avi, ha'bracha achat lecha avi. You only have one blessing, my father. Halo atzalta li bracha, didn't you leave me any blessings? And as he embraces Jacob, the beautiful words, Nis'av ne'lecha, let us go together, says Esav. Let me outstretch a hand to you, a hand of friendship to you, says Esav. But Esav's deeds speak more loudly than his words. Esav the hunter, Esav the murderer, Esav the one who eventually his children would destroy our temple. These words do not ring true. We don't trust verbiage. We do not place our faith in beautiful words. What did the great forefathers say? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. What are some beautiful quotes we can have from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? We can tell beautiful stories about them that will teach us how to lead our lives. But what were their great statements? Sarah's great teaching? We don't have that, because words can mislead. Beautiful verbiage can, in the words of the Haggadah, can destroy everything, can mislead us down that path. The Gemara in Brachos says, keep your children away from all sorts of treatises that attempt to explain and understand the great underpinnings of philosophy, and that's not going to bring to the moral life. But if we ask ourselves, what is the Jewish aesthetic? What is beautiful in Judaism, if not words? In the Song of Songs, there are many descriptions of beauty, things that are beautiful. Ki kolech arev umarich naveh. We say in the metaphor of the Song of Songs, which is written in the form of a love poem, that your voice is beautiful. How did the rabbis understand what the beautiful voice of the Jewish people is? He says, you know what the beautiful voice is? The beautiful voice is the voice of the prayers of the matriarchs. When Rachel, Leah, Sarah, and Rivka, when they prayed for their children, and they called out to God, that was a beautiful sound. It wasn't opera. Couldn't make it to Carnegie Hall. But those are the beautiful sounds of our matriarchs. Sugah bas Shoshanim, the beloved, the beautiful bride described in the Song of Songs. She's surrounded with lilies, roses. Oh, what a beautiful image. But the rabbis say, it's not the beauty that meets the eye, which is true beauty. You know what a Sugah bas Shoshanim, surrounded by the rose bush, which has thorns in it as well. You know what that is? You know what Jewish greatness and Jewish beauty is? The rabbis tell a story of a husband and wife. They just got married. And the husband has his natural physical desires to be with this beautiful bride. The bride turns to him and she says, I'm sorry, my beloved, but I am a nidah. There's blood in me, and it's not the time to be together. And the husband goes away from the wife and waits till the time is right. That, the rabbis say, that's beauty. Beauty is self-control. Beauty is when the human being is in control of his own base impulses. That's beauty. That's the Jewish aesthetic. Shechora ani v'na'ava. The bride, the beloved, in the song says, I am black and I am beautiful. I am black. the rabbis say, in my own deeds. My deeds have darkened my soul. But v'na'avani ma'aseh avotai. You know what Jewish beauty? You know what beauty I possess? The deeds of my ancestors. Let me tell you about Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah. Let me tell you about their deeds. I'm very beautiful if you look at the deeds of my ancestors. Part of Jewish beauty is the pride in the deeds, not the words, of our ancestors.